Hi, and welcome to Karen Cash and Daniel Van Zanten's presentation on the MGM Resorts International for MG Top 590, Section 4, Team 2. Today we'll be discussing the MGM and their business, primarily located out of Las Vegas, but also as a domestic and international hospitality agency. MGM Resorts International is a global hospitality company operating a portfolio of resort brands geared in three primary areas. We have Las Vegas, which is where their largest holdings are. A representation of their properties at that location are the Bellagio, the MGM Grand, the Mandalay Bay, as well as the Mirage, one of their original properties. MGM, as I have said, is also a domestic power, in that they have other properties located in Detroit, Michigan, Mississippi, and Biloxi, as well as two future properties, which will be in Massachusetts as well as Maryland. In addition to this, MGM has a global footprint in that they do have a property in through MGM China Holdings Limited, a 51% share, so a controlling share of the MGM Macau Resort and Casino based in Macau, China. MGM has three primary competitors, and this is the Caesars Entertainment Corporation, as well as the Las Vegas Sands Corporation, and Wynn Resorts. These companies have various properties within the Las Vegas, Nevada area, or the Strip, that are their primary competition for MGM International. MGM operates primarily in Las Vegas and Macau, as we've said, but they have a dual demographic focus. MGM Resorts International's primary focus is in Las Vegas, Nevada, and according to MGM's 2015 10K report, they're serving a customer basis of premium high-end gaming customers, leisure and wholesale travel groups, as well as business travelers and customer groups and consumer groups, such as conventions, trade shows, and even small corporate meetings on their properties. Their secondary focus at this time is the expanded operations located in Macau, China. According to data provided by Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, we have a few statistics on MGM's clientele as well as some of their employment. So our gender rates, we have marital status, employment baselines, education, age groups, ethnicity, household income, visitor origin, whether they're from the U.S., East Coast, Southern states, Midwest, or Western, and then breaking down the California area, as well as foreign statistics. Here we have demographics provided by the South China Morning Post, which are showing the visitor demographics to the Macau location. And this chart happens to show the variations between 2013 and 2014. And we're seeing predominantly a steady increase from mainland China. It's a 14.1% increase from 13 to 14. A slight decrease from Hong Kong, and international visitors, i.e. European or other Middle Eastern nations, has dropped 1.1% in from 2013 to 2014. When we start to look at the economics of the MGM Resorts International U.S. baseline, we see that the United States economy is stable, or is stabilizing. According to Trading Economics, the U.S. economy expanded an annualized 1.4% on quarter in the past 3 months of 2015, which was higher than the second estimate of 1%, according to final figures released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis. This consumer spending increased more than anticipated, which is a positive deal over time. And we're seeing that going to continue to grow from what our actual is currently at 1.40 to what the projections are through 2Q 2016, all the way out to Q1 of 17 and stretched out to 2020. China's economic forecast is not as positive currently as the U.S., and according to Business Insider, the Asian Development Bank, ADB, lowered its gross domestic product forecast for developing Asian nations in 2016. This won't bode well for discretionary spending within the Asian regions, citing a weak recovery in major industrial economies and some softer growth aspects and prospects for China. Currently, we're looking at an actual rate of 1.60, which through 1Q of 2017 is going to drop to 1.45. And as we stretch out to 2020, down to 1.07%. So not really great numbers there, but they are the numbers that we're working with. So when we look at the political and legal aspects of the MGM, MGM Resorts International has to work efficiently and effectively to maintain its position as a global leader. And this really requires that they pay particular close attention to new or emerging requirements in both political and legal communities. And in addition, if significant developments within technology and physical standards concerning the gaming, hospitality, and resort industry are not followed, MGM could find their somewhat tenuous hold on their market share slipping out of their grasp over time. The MGM also has to look at how it's regulated and what various U.S. and host nation laws, as well as local laws and policies that concern them, have to do. So some of these things they have to do, being in the gaming industry, they have to pay close attention to currency transactions, taxations, and as a real estate developer, they need to pay close attention to zoning and building and policies. Other areas they look at is land use, construction, marketing and advertising, hoteling standards, but then they have some of other things like smoking policies, laws or requirements revolving around alcoholic beverages, and Americans with Disabilities Act needs to be considered in all of their activities. So in the U.S., the MGM must meet federal, state, and local environmental laws as well as the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and Resource Conservation Recovery Act, which deals with some of the goods and services they provide and use. As well, MGM must also adhere to China's rules, laws, and regulations. And some of these have to do with gaming and gaming concessions. These laws and regulations are complex and court administered and reviewed by a regulatory body. And unfortunately, they're not concrete. They're based on interpretation of the laws and regulations of the host nation at this time, which means they could change over the length of the property's life. So just as the MGM needs to pay attention to laws and regulations, they also have to pay close attention to technological as well as physical attributes that people are looking for when they spend discretionary funding for hotel or gaming opportunities or entertainment. So one positive aspect is that the MGM is continually reinvesting in its properties and trying to provide technology-driven accommodations and gaming. I mean, they've moved. A big example of that is 40 years ago, a slot machine was a mechanical device that you dropped a coin in or a token and pulled a mechanical arm, and it responded to The mechanics. Now, most slot machines are all electronic and digital based, and run off a hard drive. So you do have some changes there. As well as some of the accommodation benefits they've got. The MGM has something called the Stay Well program, which covers air purification, hypoallergenic cleaning supplies, and circadian rhythm based lighting. So they're not just being driven by the best gaming, but people want to have the best accommodations and amenities able to be provided. MGM is also in collaboration with WaterStart to evaluate the use of water in solutions. This comes largely into play with places such as the Bellagio, which is well known for its huge water fountains and water demonstrations in the evening. So MGM is working to maintain these. So the global reach of MGM, as the name would imply, is just not a domestic operation, but a global force to be recognized. As I've said before, Las Vegas locations include the Aria, Bellagio, Vdara, MGM Grand, as well as the Luxor, Excalibur, and Circus. And as we've said previously, we have the Gold Strike, Tunica, and Beau Rivage Biloxi, which are in Mississippi, and the MGM Grand in downtown Detroit. So this brand recognition is beneficial to global international operations. MGM has is the Macau location, as well as MGM Grand Sanya in India. So when you start to look at the factors that are forcing MGM to work hard, we look at some of what the buyer requirements are for people who want to purchase time and spend their money on possibly the MGM, we'd hope. So 15 of the world's 25 largest hotels by room count are located on the Las Vegas Strip. And according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, there were approximately 149,000 guest rooms available in Las Vegas in 2015. So when you start to look at how that affects the MGM, the MGM has, when you combine all of their properties together, 35,000 rooms, which is quickly approximately 24% of the rooms available in Las Vegas. So they must ensure that they've got competitive pricing through online services, as well as such as hotels.com and places like Expedia. That way they're maintaining their market position. This concludes Part A of the MGM presentation. Stand by. Part B will start momentarily.